Indian summer still laying over the Bay Area. The temperature in the 80s this afternoon. Another packed and jammed crowd at the Oakland Coliseum as the A's and the Dodgers square off in Game 4. Hi, everybody. I'm Kurt Gowdy with Monty Moore and Tony Kubek. Well, the merry-go-round goes around, and we're back to the beginning. The two starting pitchers of the opening game of the World Series are matched up once more. Andy Messersmith, the right-hander of the Dodgers, against Ken Holtzman, the left-hander of the Oakland A's. Alvin Dark, the manager of the A's, says Game 4 is the most important game of the World Series. Naturally, he'd think so, because if his A's won tonight, then they'd be 2 games up and only need 1 more to go. And even before the Dodgers came to Oakland, Walter Alston said if the Dodgers could win just 1 out of 3, he still thought they'd win the World Series. One item we might look for tonight, the young right-handed batters of the Dodgers moving up in the batting box and trying to go to right field more against a very clever and veteran pitching staff of the Oakland A's has so far has given up more hits, but the A's have outscored the Dodgers. And when we talk about hitting and run scoring in this series, Monty, we haven't seen too much of it. Now, what about the A's? When are they going to break loose?
Kurt, this is a mighty tough pitching staff to break loose on as far as hitting goes. Messersmith and Sutton and Marshall in the group. But if the A's do break loose, I think it would have to be in the middle of the batting order, and everybody looks for the game breakers, Reggie Jackson and Sal Bando. And Reggie tonight, I was talking with him just before the game and said that he may be able to present a new kind of a weapon for the A's, and he showed it a little bit last night when he stole second base, even though it was on a hit-and-run play. Jackson said before the game tonight that his leg does feel good. If he has to steal or take an extra base, he'll do it. But if you ask any of the Oakland A's players who is the real clutch hitter on this ball club who might break the ball game open, it would be Sal Bando. You might say why Bando has gone no hits and 10 at-bats in the World Series, but his teammates have that kind of confidence in him. He, at one time this year, had only 34 hits and had 39 runs batted in. So he's the kind of guy that, if the A's do break loose, could do it.
Now the Dodgers have a very special cheerleader here for the World Series, and he's a fellow who would have played a key figure in this 1974 series. And right now, Tony Kubek's going to talk with him.
Should the Oakland A's win the World Championship again in 1974, it could be because of the elbow you're looking at right now. It belongs to Tommy John, who at All-Star break was the winningest pitcher in the National League. And Tommy, you had a 13-3 record. You never picked up another victory after that.
Right, Tony. I tried to pitch. I think I waited about 8 or 9 weeks and rested some and tried to come back and throw. And it just got to the point to where I could throw maybe 3/4 speed. But whenever I tried to get the little extra pop on the ball that you need to get guys out like Jackson and Bando, etc., I just couldn't do it, and I couldn't throw a good curveball. And I think I have to have both of them to win. And it just came down to the point that the season was growing short, and I had to make a decision to get my arm operated on or try to maybe play in the series, etc. And I felt the longer I waited, the more it would take me into spring training. So we decided about the 1st of September to get my arm operated on, and at the 25th, Dr. Frank Jobe went in and reconstructed my left elbow.
All right, you sat on the Dodger bench in uniform last night. Al Downing pitched your ball game. Were you agonizing through it all?
Well, yes, because I'll tell you why. I've always pitched well against Oakland, and I've always pitched well in this ballpark. And it's a great ballpark to pitch in during the night games. And a matter of fact, I can't recall, but maybe I've only lost 2 or 3 games to Oakland when I was with the White Sox. And they're a good ball club to pitch against, and I think they're challenging. And, you know, and I sat there, and a lot of people said, you know, this was your game, but you know, I just try to think of it. You know, Jackson 2 years ago was out for the series because of his pulled hamstring. And I like to think maybe this is going to happen to me, where I can come back next year and play next year.
Tommy John, I hope you do come back as an important factor in the National League and for this ball club, the Dodgers.
I'm sure I will, Tony. Thank you.
Good luck. Let's go back upstairs.
A surprise change just before game time in the A's lineup. Gene Tennis is in the dugout at the start of this game. Claudel Washington goes to left field, and Joe Rudy comes in from left field to first base. We have tried to check in the A's dugout to find out if there's anything wrong with Tennis, and we can find out nothing so far. It may be one of those last-minute moves that the A's are famous for making in which they did a lot during this last season. Kenneth Dale Holtzman moving to the mound, his 8th World Series game. He opened the World Series in Los Angeles. This is his 7th start. He has not pitched a complete game in his 6 previous series starts. His series record is 3 wins and 1 loss. Saturday, he went 4 1/3 innings, allowed 1 earned run, 7 hits, no decision. Andy Messersmith was a loser. Raleigh Fingers came in to get the win in that opening game. And now to take you through the first part of today's game, to set you up defensively and tell you about Kenny Holtzman, here's the A's broadcaster, Mr. Monty Moore.
Okay, thank you very much, Kurt, and hi once again, everybody. Ken Holtzman was one of the A's most effective pitchers the last couple of months. He and Catfish Hunter were very strong, but Holtzman in particular, the last 14 games he pitched, he allowed 1.53 for an ERA in the last 14 games. And there is his look at the seasonal record, 19 wins and 17 losses.
Monty, Kurt mentioned before the telecast or before the ball game started that the Dodgers are going to adjust. I talked to Jimmy Wynn about it. Let's see what he had to say about adjustments.
Well, I'm going to change my method. I'm going to move definitely up on the plate, because I think the first time we faced him in Los Angeles, he was throwing nothing but change-ups and fastballs away. So that's exactly what I'm going to do.
Here's a look at the umpires for this ball game. Don Dinkinger will be behind the plate. He is an American League umpire. Andy Olson of the National League at first. Ron Luciano at second. He's an American League umpire. Tom Gorman at third, the National League. Bill Kunkel, the American League in left field. And Doug Harvey, the National League, down the right field line. We are ready for baseball here in Game 4 of the 1974 World Series. And Holtzman starts Lopes off with a fastball outside. You'll notice that Holtzman works basically away from all hitters. Strike call, it's 1-1.
Well, you've seen him all year, but his fastball does tail away from a right-hander, doesn't it?
Yes, it does, and he takes shots at that outside corner, too. And this year, he's been very, very effective with a let-up pitch. There's the curve that's high for ball 2.
Monty, I noticed when Kenny took his warm-up pitches before the first pitch thrown to Lopes, he took about 12, and about 7 or 8 were curveballs. He may change his tactics this ball game.
Straightaway center field, Bill North makes the catch, and there's one away. This telecast is presented by authority of Major League Baseball and is intended solely for the private, non-commercial use of our audience. Any publication, reproduction, retransmission, or other use of the pictures, descriptions, and accounts of this game without the express written consent of the Commissioner of Baseball is prohibited. The Commissioner of Baseball has the right of approval of the announcers of this event. Here's Bill Buckner with one out in the first inning. Buckner, so far in the series, has 3 base hits. He's been up 13 times, and Holtzman starts him off with a fastball strike.
The fans can see the sun shining brightly on the bleachers, but it is no problem to the outfielders now, because it's ducked down behind the rim of the stadium.
Here's the curve, and Holtzman has a good one. As that pitch was coming to the plate, Dick Green, the A's second baseman, broke about 8 steps to his left as the pitch was on the way to the plate. When he sees the catcher's call a curveball, he'll do that. When Holtzman came to the A's from Chicago, he had the reputation of being a curveball and off-speed pitcher. But he came to the A's in the first 2 years here. He threw, I'd say, 80% fastballs. This past year, then, he went back to a lot of off-speed pitches. There's a fastball hit down the line and left. Claudel Washington can't get it. And the rookie outfielder didn't quite get to a fly ball. It hit right in his glove and out. And Bill Buckner is on.
He got a good jump, and Randall almost caught the ball. He had the added advantage of having his glove in his right hand. He did not have to backhand it, and the ball just flopped out of his webbing of his glove. He has speed. He caught up to the ball. He was playing Buckner toward left field, and he thought he had it.
Buckner's played as a pull hitter by the Dodgers. I don't think a lot of left fielders could have reached that ball, except for this 20-year-old youngster who has blazing speed.
I noticed that Rudy, however, has played him much closer to the line than Washington was playing him right then. They give Buckner a double on the play, and Jimmy Wynn is the batter now. Wynn's had 2 hits, 11 at-bats in the series. Pitch it outside a ball. Just missed with that one. It's 2 balls and no strikes. Holtzman hit the outside corner, call strike.
Monty, what you said makes a difference getting a jump on the ball. You're used to the ball coming off the bat at a certain angle and right, and it's different in left.
see how close Wynn is standing to the front part of the batter's box closest to the plate. He's right up on it. And he still was way out front of the let-up pitch. I don't think where you stand is going to make that much difference on the speed, other than if you're going to definitely try to go to right field. Or Buckner's got a big lead. Holtzman stopped him and struck out Wynn. So they're 2 down as Holtzman gets his first strikeout. And we've got to say congratulations from everybody at NBC to Steve Garvey and his wife Cindy for a baby girl born at 3:30 this afternoon. 6 pounds and 13 ounces. The baby's name, Krisha Lee. Born in Valley Presbyterian Hospital in Van Nuys.
I think that's the 5th daughter that the Dodgers have had this year. And instead of the fathers and son game, they're going to be having a fathers and daughters game at Dodger Stadium.
A lot of cheerleaders. Steve Garvey with 2 down and a runner at second base. Let-up pitch is a little high.
I'd like to get Tony's opinion. I think he's been the best-looking hitter in this series. What do you think, Tony?
No doubt about it. He knows how to adjust, and it's the kind of staff that keeps the ball away from right-handed hitters. And Garvey all year long has consistently hit the ball the opposite way when they pitch him outside.
He's hit a lot of hard foul balls down the right field line in this series, trying to go that way. He wasn't trying to go that way on that one. He was out in front of a curveball, and it's 2 balls and 1 strike. And you notice that Holtzman threw that on a 2-0 count. He'll throw it any time, and he'll also throw the let-up. Kenny doesn't like to call that off-speed pitch a changeup. He says, I do not throw a changeup. I just take something off the fastball. Missed with a curve. He's 3-1 on a tough hitter here. Still a very bright time of day here in Oakland. It's amazing. This game started about 15 minutes earlier than last night's. The difference in the lighting in the park between last night and tonight. Let-up pitch. Garvey out in front again, 3-2.
Ken Holtzman's back on the mound in game number 4, and he has the Dodgers under his spell.
Andy Messersmith, last half of the first inning, will pitch to Bert Campaneris, Bill North, and Sal Bando. Messersmith, the 20-game winner this year for the Dodgers. He lost only 6. And you look how a guy finishes the season to see how well he is ready to go into a series. The pitch to Campaneris hits him. Campaneris hit on the left arm and looks back over the shoulder at Messersmith. You know one thing, Messersmith wasn't throwing at him.
He wasn't taken. He was going to go after right off the bat. And look at the wince in the face of Campaneris. And are the Dodgers trying to shake up these Oakland A's?
So Campy Campaneris is on. Campaneris had 4 hits in the series. For the year, the A's little road-running shortstop had 34 stolen bases. Messersmith is known to have one of the better moves among the right-handed Dodger pitchers.
He is not the kind of kid to wake up either, Bert Campaneris. He can get on those bases and really terrorize you.
I would imagine Messersmith's going to take a few shots at him here. Bill North's had only 1 hit in 10 at-bats in the series. He had a couple of hits the first day of the playoffs and then went into a slump, couldn't get the ball out of the infield. He takes low, ball 1. The A's know that Yeager can throw the baseball. He proved that to them in game number 1 real quickly.
Saying, Herb Washington, watch the move.
There he goes. The throw, beauty. He's got him. Perfect throw by Steve Yeager.
Campaneris, 10 years in a row, has stolen more than 30 bases. 6 times has led the American League in stolen bases. He's going. Pitch is swung and missed. Yeager's throw is right there. Got him. Steve Yeager with a great throw to second base, nailing Campy Campaneris.
Here's Campy again. Messersmith got rid of the ball very quickly to his catcher, Yeager. Looked like a hit and run as Campy kept his eye on that hitter for a long time. Lopes taking the throw. He was playing close to the bag. Here's Yeager, and you'll see by this that bad leg with a collision with Bando at home plate a couple of games ago is not affecting his jumping out of that crouch and making a throw.
Well,
you throw Campaneris out by that much, you've had something on the throw.
North bunts the ball. One hopper to Lopes, and he got him. That kind of about a minute ago, and it would have had Campaneris moved over. So they're 2 down, nobody on, and here is A's captain, third baseman Sal Bando, who's without a hit so far in this World Series. Bando had his lowest batting average for a year this year with 243, but had a very productive year with 103 runs batted in. Bando, Fossey, and Green are all without hits in the series, and here we are in Game 4. Ball 1. Throwing the heat to him now. 1 ball, 1 strike. Foul back, strike 2. He struck him out in a let-up, and that's all for the Oakland A's. The score after 1 inning of play at the Oakland Coliseum. The Dodgers nothing, the A's nothing. Top half of the 2nd inning, Matty Joe Ferguson at the plate for the Dodgers with a 1-strike count on him, and Holtzman misses outside for ball 1. 1 ball, 1 strike. Ferguson jumped into an early lead for the Heroes role in this 1974 World Series with a home run and a fantastic throw from right field. Here's a scouting report stopped by Dick Green, who throws him out. And I know the Dodgers are talking to themselves in this entire series, saying every time we hit a ball hard, there's Dick Green. It's no accident, Kurt.
He's right there. He started 3 double plays last night. Every ball hit viciously to him, and this ball was slapped hard by Ferguson.
Right up the middle, but Green was cheating on him, as was Joe Rudy, it would mention. Here's Ron Say, third baseman for the Dodgers. Well, what a play he made here last night. There's a drive to center. North going back. Makes the catch a little lower than he usually likes to make them.
Monty, you made an interesting observation when Buckner was up in the 1st inning. Down breaking balls, Green will move toward first base. When that pitch was on its way, he took 5 or 6 steps toward second base, and North in center field also ran toward left center field a little bit. So somebody's giving him signals out there, too.
Right you are, Tony. Billy North said that he's learned playing the hitters from Dick Green this year, and he said more than he ever thought he could ever learn about playing hitters. He watches Green, and when Green cheats, he cheats. Bouncing ball to Campaneris. And it's 3 up, 3 down. We've gone through 1.5 innings here in Oakland, and the score remains the Los Angeles Dodgers nothing, the A's nothing. Gene Tennis sitting in the Oakland A's dugout. Gino became famous this year in the hair industry when he put a topper on. You can see it there. Reggie Jackson. After a Messersmith changeup and way out front.
That's a tense-looking dugout, isn't it? They're all lying back, relaxed, smiling.
1 strike to count on Jackson. He's had 3 hits in 9 at-bats in the series. 1 a home run off Messersmith in game number 1. Drive left center field. Jimmy Wynn makes a fine running catch. Jimmy Wynn with a fine running catch.
We've had some good center field plays so far in this World Series. North and Wynn. He was playing to the right field side of second base and had a long run, and the ball was hit hard and slicing. There's another angle from that low center field camera.
And look at that ball sinking on him. It was sinking rapidly.
And a left-hander swings like that and gets that inside-out swing that Jackson had on it. It was tailing away from Wynn, and when he first hit it, I didn't pick Wynn up that quickly, and I figured that one might be going to the wall because he really hit it hard, but Jimmy got a fine jump on the ball. So there's 1 down, and here Joe Rudy, who's had 4 hits in the series. He is one of 2 Oakland A's players with that many. Campaneris is the other. Davey Lopes, backhanded stop to Garvey, who saves another Dodger throwing error. Garvey in this series has played beautifully at first base on some mighty big plays.
Well, he's been good all year at coming up with scoops. Here it is on the pickup by Lopes. Makes a fine play. Now watch this pickup. Garvey has saved the Dodger infielders many times this year of throwing errors.
When Garvey played third base for the Dodgers, he made quite a few errors. They had a changeup, but it was not because he could not catch the ball. He could always do that, as you see. He had trouble throwing.
Here's Claudel Washington. Washington hits the ball left side deep. They're going to have to hurry to get him. Ball is thrown away, but Claudel can't get around first base. Davey Lopes with a hustling backup of a wild throw by Russell. That saved an error because he would have gone to second. I think they'll have to give him a base hit on the ball.
Here it comes. He had to go a long way to his right. He was playing up the middle. And a pretty good play by Davey Lopes. That's 2 good plays in a row. Ordinarily, Yeager gets down there, but he's got that bad knee from the collision.
Washington can run. There are players on the A's ball club who feel that he might be able to go from home to third faster than anybody on the club. So he's on with a base hit, the first for the A's, and here's Ray Fossey, the catcher. Messersmith went right after him with a high inside fastball. Ray Fossey, he's the second Oakland A's player in the last 2 years to have a back surgery and still play in the same season he had the surgery. Dick Green had that in 1972. He struck him out. And that's all for the Oakland A's. 2 innings have come and gone here at the Coliseum, and the score is the Dodgers nothing, the A's nothing. Top half of inning number 3. Steve Yeager, the Dodger catcher, will lead it off. Warren Giles, former president of the National League. World Series, it's the gathering place for all of the Major League Baseball hierarchy, front office people. That ball's hit well. Washington can't get to it, and it's off the wall. He's throwing to second where Green is covering, but Yeager's in with a double.
Well, Washington played that ball well off the wall and had quite a strike to second base.
He has a pretty good arm. The way that ball went by him, the way he reacted, it looked as if he thought it was gone.
And you can see North comes over from center field to back him up. Yeager, who has the knee injury, had to hustle to make the double. Look around Luciano down there. He's a showman.
You got it time. That's the best sign I've seen all year.
Monty, they told the A's pitchers, don't give Yeager a fastball. That was a fastball right in there to him.
And he really jumped on it. Well, the Dodgers now are in the driver's seat with a runner at second, nobody down. Their pitcher, Messersmith, squares around and takes ball 1.
He was a hitting star in the first game, 2 out of 3 for Andy.
With the top of the batting order coming on, it'll be interesting to see if they let him swing and try to hit the ball to the right side, or if they have him bunting. Joe Rudy's charging from first base. He bunts it towards Bando. They'll have only one play. That's the first where Green is covering. He takes it, and going to third on the perfect sacrifice by Messersmith is Yeager. Messersmith is a very fine athlete, and all the A's scouting reports indicated that he could hit. He bunts well. He does what you have to do to field your position, and of course he does the number 1 thing that he's supposed to do, and that's throw the baseball the way it's supposed to be thrown. Was the bubblegum champion, but was dethroned on national television tonight.
They've got the infield in now. They're going to try and cut the runoff at home plate. He's going to pitch from the stretch.
Lopes after the first pitch, and Holtzman, knowing he's a good first pitch hitter, took that one for a ball. Yeager's got a good lead down off third, even though Holtzman's working off the stretch. 1 ball, 2 strikes. This could be a mighty big out right here if Holtzman can get it without Yeager scoring, because the left-handed Buckner is up next. He struck him out. Kenny Holtzman took something off the pitch. There are a lot of pitchers who don't like to throw an off-speed pitch in a situation where a fly ball could hurt him, but Holtzman has such a good one and hides it so well, he throws it a lot on 2 strikes in this situation.
The Dodgers, oddly enough, have been a good ball club the past 2 seasons in scoring runners from third base with less than 2 out. They've led the league 2 years in a row in sacrifice flies.
The A's scouting reports indicate that Buckner, who's up right now, likes to drag bunt with 2 out and a runner at third. There's the bunt. Holtzman got it and threw to first. Buckner got a slow curveball to bunt and bunted it too close to the mound. The score after 2.
Steve Yeager doubles, moves to third, and Tom Lasorda clues him in.
Be live for anything now. Buck's liable to bunt. You never know, so be ready. Good, Bill! Be live for the wild pitch. Take some more. Take some more. Attaboy, Buck!
Buckner's 2-out bunt attempt fails to fool Holtzman, and the Dodgers remain scoreless.
And he threw another fastball. It's fouled off. Both teams have complained about the infields of this stadium and at Dodger Stadium. In the series, there's a high fastball. It's 2-2. We were asking some of the infielders of both teams tonight what the big difference is, and they said Dodger Stadium is hard, but it's consistently hard. This one has an inconsistent text, they say. Russell takes his time and throws Green out easily, and there's one away in the third. Now the A's pitcher, Ken Holtzman, who had a double in Game 1. He had 2 doubles last year after not batting all year long. And a lot of people who are not acquainted with the American League designated hitter rule wonder about the pitchers if they ever get to do any hitting during the season. And the answer is yes. Every day when they're at home, they have about 30 minutes in the cage just for the pitchers. And it's their, I believe, favorite time of the day.
He's been quite a World Series hitter.
That ball's hit well. It is carrying, and there she goes.
Well, he had a double last year in the series, a double against Messersmith on Saturday, and now a home run tonight.
Set a record as we look at for getting around the bases slowly. Let's look at Buckner, who's playing very shallow in left field.
Where did it go?
Amazing.
Who needs a designated hitter? Holtzman has 4 World Series hits in 2 years, and they're all for extra bases. 3 doubles, and now a home run.
Well, the A's lead 1-0, and who was the last pitcher to hit a home run in the World Series? Was it Dave McNally? Here's Campy Cavaleras. He bunts the ball in the air. First base side, foul ground. Messersmith makes the catch, and that shows you that he is a good athlete. He outran both Garvey and Yeager and went a long ways to get it. 1 down, or 2 down. Bouncing ball to Davy Lopes. And that's all for the A's, who score 1 run on 1 hit in the 3rd inning, and the score is 1-0 Oakland. Top of the 4th inning, Jimmy Wynn of the Dodgers bounces one back off the glove of Holtzman. Green's going to have to hurry. He got him. Great play by Dick Green, backing up Ken Holtzman.
He had a fine game last night. Once again, he may have had the ball, but it would have been a tougher play for him from way behind second base. The ball was deflected by Kenny.
You see another angle here, and you see that he was cheating. Look, he comes right straight back over second base. Look here, he's coming right straight over the bag nearly. So he was right behind the pitcher as that pitch was made. Here's Garvey.
No matter for what position he throws, Green gets something on the ball.
1 ball and no strikes on Steve Garvey of the Dodgers. He struck out his first time up. Low, a ball. It's 2-0.
Monty, we heard Jimmy Wynn say they were going to adjust and try to hit the opposite way and move closer to the plate. It's easy to say you're going to do it, but they haven't done it yet. He's still trying to pull an outside pitch.
Here's a ground ball right side, off the glove of a diving Joe Rudy.
Garvey can go to right field.
Looked like he was trying to kill worms or chop down a tree. That was really a swing going down on that ball.
Now, Garvey is probably Dixie Walker, the hitting instructor's favorite pupil. He takes advice, he takes coaching, he puts it in practice.
That's the 3rd hit for the Dodgers. Joe Rudy made a fine try for the ball, but only slowed it down. Here's Joe Ferguson. His 1 hit of the series was a towering blast over the center field wall at Dodger Stadium. It's ball 1, and Ray Fossey will talk with Kenny Holtzman now. Ferguson was born in San Francisco and grew up down in the San Jose area, right here in the Bay Area. Incidentally, the answer to that question a minute ago about who was the last pitcher to hit a home run in the World Series, it was back in 1970, and it was Dave McNally of the Baltimore Orioles.
Player 3rd, Brooks 2nd, Johnson 1st, 2 out. 2-2 pitch to McNally. That's hit pretty good. Grand slam home run.
He walked him, and the Dodgers have 2 on for Ron Say. That comes from shooting at the corners. Holtzman, however, walked only about 2 men every 9 innings this year. let-up pitch. 1 strike. Foul, strike 2. Curveball, strike 3 called. Don Say doesn't believe it, but Don Dinkinger, the plate umpire, says, yes, sir.
Tony, his curve is much better tonight than it was Saturday in Los Angeles.
He didn't use it very often, and this is just the other weapon that a good pitcher has. Hunter does the same thing. We look at the breaking pitch again, and comes around the plate. Very sharp break, equally effective against right-handed hitters or left.
Now here is Russell, the shortstop, with 2 out and 2 on. Throw him a fastball low and away. This is the time of night that it should be awfully tough to see here. They have all the lights on. Ball got away from Fossey, but not very far. Runner's holding. It's 3-1. Holtzman could really be working his way into a jam here. Yeager's up next, and he's been carrying a hot bat.
Monty, we've talked about scouting reports a lot the first few ball games of this World Series, and I think that's where scouting reports go wrong. They'll say a pitcher is a fastball pitcher or a breaking ball pitcher, but the good pitchers, the consistent winners, change.
There's a drive to right center. Jackson going deep. He can't get it. It goes between them. The Dodgers are going to get 2. Jackson bobbling the ball. Russell's on his way to third. North finally gets it back in, and the Dodgers lead 2-1.
At Billy North from our center field camera. Reggie Jackson seemed to circle the ball. There you can see the loop. He did not go in a direct line toward the ball. Russell going the opposite field all the way. Now the relay into Dick Green. No chance for anybody at home plate.
Bill Russell's up with 2 out. Garvey and Ferguson come home on Russell's triple, and the Dodgers jump in front 2-1.
The way to hit that ball, buddy. When you came to the plate, there's no way he's going to get you out. He may have struck Say out, but he will not get Russell out, because I believe that you can hit this left-hander.
Russell really had a good inside-out swing on that ball. The A's were playing him very shallow, and that really hurt him right there. Now, Yeager is the batter with the pitcher due up next, and 2 bases open ahead of him. Curveball, he popped it up. Ray Fossey's trying to find it. He puts it away, and the Dodgers score 2 here in the 4th on 2 hits. The score, the Dodgers 2, the A's 1. And we just got a look at one of the basic differences in the Dodger lineup and the A's lineup. The Dodgers, from first spot of the batting order right through the 8th, have RBI men. And Russell just got a couple of big ones. Here's Sal Bando taking inside. As a matter of fact, with Messersmith batting, he's hitting .240 for the season. And he is the lowest batting average man in the Dodger lineup. And the Oakland A's as a team only hit .247 this year. Bando takes outside a ball. It's 2-0.
I don't want the Reds or the Mets to get mad at me. Now, I'm quoting the A's. They say the Dodgers are the best offensive team they played against in the World Series.
Pitch it up high, 3-0. 3-0 to Bando, and it's ball 4. That's the first Messersmith walk of the game. And he now will pitch to Reggie Jackson, who hit a low sinking liner to center field that was caught on a fine play by Wynn. The 2nd inning. Jackson's home run statistics this year, he had only 14 in this park and 15 on the road. Foul off, strike 1. Hard stuff again. There was a big cut. But Messersmith blew it by him. It's 1-2. There's the let-up pitch, and he got him. Andy Messersmith with probably the best changeup I've ever seen.
I was waiting for that one. Sometimes he'll throw 2 in a row to a hitter.
Well, he had Jackson set up. He has been throwing him all hard stuff. So there's 1 away, and here's Joe Rudy. There's a liner to the second baseman. Bando's got to hurry to get back. He didn't get back. Bando is doubled off first base a la Jimmy Wynn last night, and 4 innings have gone by the Coliseum. It's 2-1 Dodgers. Andy Messersmith, top half of the 5th inning against Ken Holtzman. The Dodgers 2 runs on 4 hits. The A's 1 run. They really got it on only 1 hit, but they have had 2. Messersmith has won 20 games in both the American and the National Leagues. Called strike. He was a product of the University of California right here just up the road a little ways from the Coliseum in Oakland. Fine college pitcher. Holtzman curved him and got him looking. Holtzman with his 5th strikeout of the game.
And Holtzman went to the University of Illinois.
So there's 1 out. And Davey Lopes of the Dodgers will lead off. This is going to be the richest player pool in World Series history. We were watching them tabulate it this afternoon down in the offices here. Last year, the A's, as a winning team, got $24,617 apiece. This year, it should be more. Lopes fouls the first pitch off, strike 1.
Ronnie, 2 years ago, didn't they award the 27 shares and 20 cash grants out of the World Series? The most complicated distribution of World Series money a squad's ever done, I think.
Curve to Lopes, dives down through that strike zone. It's strike 2. Well, Tony's been in those meetings before. I never have, of course, but the players tell me that it's the closest thing to warfare you come to. Curve fouled off.
It wasn't when you were with the Yankee ball clubs because you expected to win, and they gave shares to almost everyone, it seemed like. Full shares to groundskeepers of the grounds crew, 2 clubhouse men. So ours was never warfare.
Well, that's the way life is with the swinging A's.
Now, you're a very generous man, Tony. I mean,
bouncing ball hit over the mound. Campy's going to have to hurry. He's got him. He's got a strong arm. The ball bounces that high. Lopes gets away from the plate. But he didn't get away all that fast because it was a let-up pitch, and he had to wait on it some and got off balance. 2 out in the 5th inning, and here's Bill Buckner, who's doubled and bounced out to the mound. Well, you know what it's like to be with a team that gets in 3 World Series in a row. The Baltimore Orioles were in 1969, 70, and 71, and it meant a total of $47,000 bonuses to those players for 3 years. Pitch is fouled away.
I think a great friend of Tony's, man that he played under, a coach, Frank Rossetti, who is from San Francisco, received more World Series checks than anyone in the history of the major leagues.
As a player and a coach, I don't know what the number is, something in the 20s, 27, something like that.
Buckner pops up to Dick Green, right behind first base. Holtzman sails through the 5th inning to score at the Oakland Coliseum. The Los Angeles Dodgers 2, the Oakland A's 1.
Well, we're going now to the last of the 5th inning. Another 1-run ball game. First 3 games decided by 1 run. Right now, the Dodgers leading 2-1. Great job, Monty, in the first 4.5 innings.
Thank you very much, Kurt. And it comes time to go now down to the announcer's bullpen and bring up the guy whose voice is synonymous with all the big sporting events in the country. And Kurt and Tony, it's a great... Oh, I was going to give you a chance there, Tony. It's a great thrill every year to work with the whole NBC crew. And here we go for the last half of the game. Kurt got it.
All right. And in the last of the 5th inning, Waddell Washington, Ray Fossey, Dick Green. Washington had an infield hit his first time up. 2 runs, 4 hits for the Dodgers. 1 run, 2 hits for the A's. There's a drive in the left center by the youngster. That's his 3rd hit in the World Series. He's 3 out of 3.
Kurt, he's an amazing kid. You know, one of the first games he ever played in the big leagues was against Gaylord Perry, and he just went up there fearlessly and hit a triple off the right center field wall, got the winning base hit. In the 12th, 13th inning, something like that, he just knows no fear and can really swing the bat.
As Billy Norris said, he has cool. He acts like he's playing in his 10th World Series instead of his first. Ray Fossey struck out his first time. He's failed to hit in the series. He's 0 for 10. That's a ball, nearly hit him. And the A's are getting hurt down at the bottom of the order except for the pitcher. Fossey and Green have yet to have a hit in this series. The 1-0 delivery. There's a drive in the left center for a base hit. Washington rounding second. Stopping. Jim Wynn came up with the ball. I thought Tony Washington might go on, with Wynn's elbow problem.
He had that in mind, but when he hit second base and started toward third, he saw that Wynn got over very quickly, and they do remember the throw he made last night to home. It did have something on it. It was fairly accurate. Here it is again. Watch the jump by Herbie Washington. Moving towards second. He wants to go all the way, but Jimmy Wynn makes a good play to hold him right at second base.
Now Walter Alston wants to go to the mound and talk to his pitcher.
Kurt, you know, they say in watching Herbie Washington, he's one of the most natural, good base runners they've ever had in the organization. And that little trip he made around second base right there, not even looking at the bag, hitting it perfectly in stride and ready to go if they needed him, was something. Now, Winkles will go over and talk with him. Tony, the Dodgers, do they run any kind of a trick play on the bunt situation here?
They're really not a tricky ball club on defense or offense. They play the game like their manager out in the mound, very solidly. We're getting some action now. Jim Brewer.
Jeff Zahn.
And
He's
Jeff
going
Zahn.
to your right.
Walter Alston going back. Here he is, 21st year as manager of the Dodgers. He's led the Dodgers to 4 World Series victories. Only Joe McCarthy with 7, Casey Stengel with 7, and Connie Mack with 5. And won more World Championships than Walter Alston. Right now, his club is being threatened in the last of the 5th inning. Dick Green, the batter, grounded out his first time. The A's have runners on first and second, nobody out. Dodgers ahead, 2-1. He squares away. This time makes Garvey handle the ball. Garvey throws to Lopes, covering at first base. A sacrifice for Dick Green. And he gets a hand from the hometown A's fan. So he did his job. Now let's see what Kenny Holtzman does. All Holtzman did was hit a home run his first time.
Those are the little things where scouting reports do mean something. Again, playing off the arm of Steve Garvey. As far as a hitter changing or a pitcher changing, they're not going to do it if the scouting reports tells them so.
All right, the Dodgers bring the infield in. Ken Holtzman's had 4 World Series lifetime hits, all for extra bases, 3 doubles and a home run. Pitch of the strike to Ken Holtzman. That's the foul ball. Struck him out on a high fastball. So a big strikeout for Messersmith. Ron Say turns his back, signals 2 outs to the outfield. Bert Campaneris is up. But Ron Say stays in tight at third because of Campaneris' bunting ability. Garvey plays it halfway at first.
Messersmith will probably, well, let's see, continue to pitch from the stretch. Hold Washington close.
He'll wind up.
Campaneris has been hit by a pitch ball and popped to the pitcher trying to bunt. 1-0 to him. High, ball 2. 2-0. 2-1. Messersmith has a great assortment. He throws a fastball with real velocity. Alvin Dark knows it. With a slider. Outstanding changeup. That's a bounding ball foul. Bobby Winkles playing it. Third base coaching box. Bluffed the bunt down the first base line. It's 3-2.
And Kurt,
Alston looking up at the count.
And Kurt, if it's been over there, it's no bluff because he's done that a lot too. He'll bunt the ball to the right side of the infield on 2 strikes.
The outfield way around toward left for Campaneris. Here's the 3-2 pitch to him. And he hits a high fly ball out in the left center. Backing up is Bill Buckner and takes it one-handed. No runs, 2 hits, 2 left at the end of 5. 2-1 Dodgers. Into the 6th inning we go now. Jim Wynn, Steve Garvey, Joe Ferguson facing Ken Holtzman. When he pitched in the National League, Holtzman had a lifetime record against the Dodgers, 14 wins and 5 losses in his 6 years with the Cubs. His first pitch of the ball to Wynn, who was struck out and grounded out. However, most of these Dodgers that are with the present club weren't around then. Wynn lines it into left center. North coming over, and The ball's picked up by Washington, wins into second base, and has a double. North tried to make a diving catch. Couldn't come up with it. Waddell Washington had to back him up.
Watch Billy North again on this sinking line drive to right center field. He's made some good catches in postseason play, but this one he could not make the shoestringer on. Can't find it. Win with his speed right into second base. Washington has shown a good arm.
That's the 5th hit for Los Angeles. Now Steve Garvey. He struck out. He singled. He hits it to third. Bando looks the runner back. Fires a strike to first to Rudy. There's one down. And he pitched him in that exact spot, down and in.
It was a fastball, a sinking fastball, and that is just plain smart pitching.
Joe Ferguson has grounded out and walked. Big bounding ball to Bando. Again, he looks wind back. Fires across against the slow runner. Has him there, 2 down. Ron Say is lined to center and struck out. He's 0 for 2. So far, they've stopped him fairly effectively. He's had only 1 hit in 12 times. Every man in this Dodger lineup has had at least 1 hit in the World Series. I think it was 45 or 47 men played third base for the Dodgers over a stretch of the last 10 years. Ball gets away. There goes Wynn to third. Fossey does not throw. He didn't think he could get him and held onto the ball. That'll be scored a wild pitch.
Let's watch it again. He got that glove out off the heel of it. Many catching coaches recommend getting down and not reaching out with a glove. Just because of that reason, you hit the ball away from you. He decided not to throw it away, and there are a lot of ways he can score, of course. Wild pitch, infield hit, infield error, pass ball, wild pitch when he's at third.
1-0. He rams it to Bando and a skidding hop. Bando makes the play. It was a difficult play for him. No runs for the Dodgers. 1 hit, they left 1. 5.5 gone. 2-1 Los Angeles. Bill North has grounded out to second base twice. Better hitter right-handed than left-handed, isn't he, Monty?
Well, he started off that way, Kurt. He had to learn to hit left-handed, but he ended the season about 260 each way.
He's 1 out of 12 in the series, and Messersmith's in with a strike to him. 1-1. Look out. 2 balls and a strike. Look at his head off that ball. He's been in a miserable slump. He's had only 5 hits in his last 60 times up. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Bill North is on. Bad man to walk. He led the American League in stolen bases with 54.
Now Sal Bando steps in. Let's go back to the 6th inning when he made a play. You see the quick reflexes a third baseman has to have on that shot off the bat of Ron Say with Jimmy Wynn on third base. Yes, you do have it, Sal. He's got one of the most accurate arms in baseball along with it.
Bando cuts away at the first pitch. Look at Yeager hopping around behind the plate. 0-1 to Bando. The A's are not exactly running rampant on Dodger catchers, especially against Yeager, who's been wearing a cannon on his right side. North trying to jockey for a lead with Garvey holding. Campaneris was thrown out in the first inning trying to steal by a big margin, and Bando is in a hole now, 2 strikes. They're just jamming him with fastballs.
Looks as if he's getting some fastballs here because North is on. Messersmith's fastball tonight has looked to me like it's been his best pitch.
Sal hasn't had a hit in his last 15 up in the playoffs in the series. North back.
With 2 strikes. Bando, as you mentioned earlier, does go to right field, and there is a big hole as Lopes is playing well towards second base. Garvey holding the runner.
2-strike delivery. A high foul into the seats down the left field line. Low throw, Garvey scooping. Big lead that time by North. He had to really dive back. Messersmith with that quick move to first and holding these runners. It's still 2 strikes to Sal Bando. And now it's a 1-ball, 2-strike count. Again, Messersmith throws the fastball tight to him, trying to crowd Bando. For him to handle that kind of stuff to right field would be most difficult. 1 ball, 2 strikes. There's the ball getting away. And North goes to second. Well, that's what a great base runner by North will do. Some way, somehow, continuous pressure can force you into that mistake.
Here's North again coming back. He tried to dig it out of the dirt. Didn't. Look at North. Take a look over his shoulder like good base runners will. They don't rely on coaches unless they absolutely have to. Here it is again. It was not a bad throw. The ball did not hit the dirt. It hit off the thumb of the first baseman's glove of Garvey.
Well, they scored an error. It's probably going to be on a pitcher, but we'll check for the official score. Now, North's at second, nobody out. And a 1 ball, 2 strike count to Bando, and Bando fouls it away.
Kurt, they got a break there. The Dodgers did that ball hit Billy North on the leg because this foul line area here, which we talked about the first night, with Jackson on deck waiting, is the biggest in baseball, at least in the American League. He could have gone to third.
1-2 pitch coming up to Sal Bando. It's a high foul fly headed toward the seats. Bill Russell racing for it, and it is out of play. Bill North, the tying run at second. Nobody out for Oakland in the last of the 6th inning. Bando's been the spoiler. He's fouled off 4 or 5 in a row now. There's the 1-2 pitch to him. He drills it into right field. It may drop. It's in. Here's North scoring. And the A's are tied it 2 up.
Here's a good team man, even with 2 strikes. He was shooting the opposite way, and Messersmith made what looked like a perfect hit. Up and in, almost a ball. But Bando, the team captain, did his job and got a base set aside from him.
Bill North draws a walk to lead off the Oakland 6th. Messersmith's pickoff attempt gets past Garvey, and North moves up to second on the pitcher's error. North scores on Bando's single to right, and the game is tied. Bando is a tough RBI man. He hasn't been hitting lately, but he comes up with a big hit that time. Well, a walk, an error on Andy Messersmith. That's the official scorer's decision now. And a little Texas leaguer in the right field, and the A's have tied it. Reggie Jackson is lined to center and struck out. Each team has 2 runs. Each club has 5 hits. Ball outside to Jackson. Pitching him outside again, 2-0. 3 balls, no strikes. No action right now in the Dodger bullpen. He's on. That's the second walk this inning by Andy Messersmith. And now the Dodger bullpen springs into action. Those 2 left-handers again. Jim Brewer and Jeff Zahn. They were warming up earlier. And Walter Alston comes out once more. Joe Rudy, a right-hander, is the next batter.
Kurt, they've got Yeager going out talking to Garvey now. Rudy's a real good bunter, and the A's have shown their ideas here in the series that they want to bunt to first base, as you and Tony have talked about the whole series. And I would imagine that Yeager must be telling Garvey, now look, come in there a little harder. We've got to have a play at third base this time. With Bando running, he's not all that fast. He's not a slow runner by any means. But if this ball is bunted hard to first base this time, it wouldn't surprise me to see Garvey really charging.
All right, we're all set as the skipper of the Dodgers is back in the dugout. Joe Rudy, who does every phase of baseball with excellence, is up now. He is grounded out and lined into a double play. Squares away and tries to bunt down the third baseline.
I don't know if I'd have this man bunting. He is a very reliable hitter. He can go the opposite way. The Dodgers are playing it like a bunt. He may switch right now.
Bando's at second. Jackson's at first. No outs. 1 run in. The A's have tied it at 2-all in the 6th inning. And he's bunting to Garvey. Garvey has to make the play to Lopes. He looked to third and then decided he might have a gamble there. Joe Rudy with a Beautifully executed sacrifice. The A's have showed us some very efficient bunting in this series.
And they're taking advantage the second time in this ball game on Steve Garvey's throwing arm. He took a look. No chance for the play. Bando got a good jump off second base. Are they going to walk him, the left-handed hitter?
Well, let's see what they do. He's had 2 for 2, an infield hit and a line single to left center. They're looking into the Dodger dugout. The Dodgers bring the infield in. Runners on second and third. Now they're going to put him on. 20-year-old Claudell Washington gets an intentional walk, which will load the bases. Ray Fossey is being called back, and Jim Holt is coming out, a left-handed batter. The Dodgers have 2 left-handers in the bullpen, Zahn and Brewer. Jim Holt will bat for Ray Fossey. All right, he's in with a bases loaded. 1 out, the game tied 2-2 in the last of the 6th inning. Bandel's at third, Jackson's at second. Claudell Washington's at first, and it's ball 1 to Jim Holt. There's the lead runner, Bandel. That's Jackson at second. And there's young Claudell Washington. There's a base hit into right field. Bandel is scoring. Here comes Jackson. The throw. It is. He's safe. Yeager charges the home plate umpire, Denkinger. Walter Alston coming out to argue. A strong throw by Joe Ferguson again. Jackson hits the dirt and evidently eluded the tag. Yeager is steaming.
We've seen Ferguson make a great throw before in this World Series. He just made another one. Yeager tried to block the plate. He planted that foot down the third base line. Here's Ferguson. Look at the speed on that throw. Here comes Reggie Jackson. He had to reach a little bit toward the first base side, but now Reggie just knocks that foot up with a hard slide. Everybody calling it Bando Green. Here it is again. He was holding him out, pitching from the stretch, which did not allow Reggie to get that good a jump off second base. Watch this slide. There is the left foot, knocking off Yeager's foot from home plate, and he tags him after he hit the plate. Good call by the home plate umpire, Don Denkinger.
Alvin Dark sends Jim Holt to the plate. The pinch hit for Ray Fossey with the bases loaded. Holt's single knocks in 2 Oakland runs, and the A's are back in front 4-2. The Dodgers disagree. Steve Yeager's of the opinion that Reggie Jackson was out. The replay reveals that umpire Don Denkinger made the correct call. Yeager's late applying the tag, and Jackson's slide carries him safely home with a 4th Oakland tally. They're going to let Green bat now.
Well, we see Herbie Washington, and, you know, in the excitement of that play and the throw and the 2 runs, you forget the big hit that Jimmy Holt just got.
That's his second pinch hit in this series.
He was picked up from Minnesota in a trade for Pat Burt. The A's were trying to get a man who didn't go for power so much, but he didn't strike out. And Jimmy Holt was something like coming into this World Series 0 for 26 as a pinch hitter, and he's at 2 in the series.
The 3 runs by the A's. Holt's getting an ovation, and they start waving those Oakland banners in back of the dugout. He delivered a big pinch hit. He got behind in the count and came through. 3 runs in an inning has been the biggest inning of this World Series. And here goes Herbie Washington out. Hurricane Herb, who has been picked off first base in L.A. Last night they hit a high fly to left. He forgot the number of outs, and he stopped at second base. His reasoning was, even if the ball was dropped or misjudged, he's so fast he could have scored anyway.
Did he say that?
He's supposed to have said that. Well, there's still only 1 out. Ground ball is sent to the shortstop. They go to second for 1. The throw to first. They're late, and the run scores. Chip Green hustled down the line, and beat the throw from Lopes to first base. Washington scores, and the A's have 4 runs into the 6th inning. And now have a 5-2 lead. An RBI for Dick Green. Ken Holtzman has hit a home run and struck out. And there's a ground ball. Russell backhanding. Great play to Lopes. Fantastic play by Bill Russell in the hole. Here it is again.
Here's Russell going far to his right. He was playing up the middle for Kenny Holtzman. A real acrobat.
4 runs, 2 hits, 1 error at the end of 6. 5-2 Oakland.
There's a new catcher for the Oakland A's. He's Larry Haney. And Larry's been a very fine addition to the A's ball club this year. They only carried 2 catchers all last year, but from the start, they've carried 3 this year, and he's been a valuable man.
Bill Russell leading off. He hits the first pitch up in the air to left center. Back goes North. Has the beat on it and takes it. 1 down. Russell had grounded out and doubled. Steve Yeager coming up next is doubled and fouled out.
Lindblad, the left-hander, fingers the right-hander for the A's.
Joe DiMaggio and Bobby Brown, former teammates. Dr. Bobby Brown, one of the leading cardiologists in America from Fort Worth, Texas, now the president of the Texas Rangers. The Texas Rangers were quite a story this year. They gave your club a battle right down to the last week, Monty.
They were a very fine club, and they were well managed by Billy Martin, and the fans of Texas had a lot to be proud of.
Haney couldn't hold on to that pitch.
And I think they probably have one of the coming superstars of baseball in an outfielder by the name of Jeff Burroughs.
Well, he led the American League in RBIs. They finished just 5 games in back of Oakland. A lot of promising young players. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Went for a bad pitch, high and away. 2 down. Ken Holtzman. Down all the way. Allowed 5 hits. That was strikeout number 6 for him, which is better than his seasonal average of 4 strikeouts a game.
Kurt, I think the Texas Rangers have one of the catchers coming to stardom in the American League also, and probably is the closest in the American League to Yeager here, and that's young Jim Sundberg.
Tom Paciorek batting. His first series at bat. Play him straight away. Sends a ground ball to Campaneris. Up the throw, right there. Easy 1-2-3 inning for Holtzman. The 7th inning stretch in Oakland with a score. Oakland 5, Los Angeles 2.
Mike Marshall, he was seen often during the season. He's been seen often during this World Series. And there was talk that if the Dodgers would lose today and come back with something to win the game, he might be a starter in Game 6, which he has not done so far this year.
Marshall, his 4th game of the series, his 5th consecutive game. He was in the final game of the playoffs when they brought him in and gave Don Sutton an inning off with a big lead. Don Sutton will pitch for the Dodgers tomorrow night against Vida Blue. If the series goes on and we go into the 6th game, Friday will be a traveling day, and Game 6 Saturday in Los Angeles.
You might have seen Marshall gesturing with his gloved hand to Lopes to move over, and his right fielder. His players get mad at him at times for doing that.
Campaneris is put down. And he hits a high fly out to shallow right. Just a little pop-up, actually. Dave Lopes with the grab, 1 away. Ball looked like I was going to carry farther. Bill North. Right now, the A's have 1 out, nobody on. That's a strike. Doug Rao warming up. He might have been the starting pitcher last night, but he was not impressive his last time out. So he won 13, but they decided to go with Downing last night. 2 balls and 2 strikes. The intellectual of the Dodgers, Mike Marshall. And he blew that fastball right by him. He's got a good fastball. 2 down. Sal Bando struck out, walked, looped a single to right field in the 6th. His first base hit of the series, knocked in a run. And it kept things going and really set everything up for the big inning by Oakland. Bounding ball to Marshall. He'll have to hurry. He has him. 3 up, 3 down for the A's in the 7th. At the end of 7, the score is Oakland 5 and Los Angeles 2. Jimmy Campbell, the general manager of the Tigers, with his manager Ralph Houck and Ralph's wife Betty, the Major, the Iron Major.
Never could stand him.
You don't say that to his face, though.
I wouldn't say it any other place except in jest.
Dave Lopes leads off for the Dodgers in the 8th inning. It's a strike to him, and the A's bullpen is busy. Raleigh Fingers, the right-hander. Paul Lindblad, the left-hander, in case Holtzman fallers here in the 8th or 9th inning. Another strike by Holtzman. Holtzman has retired 6 in a row. He's had trouble in 1 inning. That was the 4th when he gave up 2 runs. That's been it for Los Angeles. Took him out in a curveball.
He has changed his pitching pattern from his first start of this World Series an awful lot. He's gone more to the breaking ball, the hard curve. He stayed away with nobody on base, but as soon as the Dodgers got men in scoring position, he pitched the right-handers inside. He's probably still looking for Dick Allen. Chuck Tanner, the manager of the White Sox.
Mr. Positive. Bounding ball to the right side. Dick Green on a shoulder high hop. The flip. 2 down. And Ken Holtzman is really sailing along now. He has retired 4, 8, 11, 12 of the last 13.
Kurt, we've mentioned it in the last few World Series games. There's not been a complete game pitched in the World Series for 17 consecutive ball games. Will Kenny Holtzman do it tonight?
The way he's going right now, he has an excellent chance. Jim Wynn struck out, grounded out, doubled the left. A ball to him. A ball. If you were playing center field, Walter Mitty, in the World Series, here's what you'd be seeing from our low center field camera. Al Holtzman's 3-0 to Jim Wynn. And he has the strike on Wynn, 3-1. Back 2, 3-2. He walked him. Second walk by Holtzman. Tony Amani doesn't seem to have lost anything off that fastball when he comes in with it. He's throwing as hard now as he did in the early inning.
About the only thing that really ever tires him out is if he gets on the bases and has to run some. He said that hurt him the other day down in Los Angeles. It's been a warm night. He likes warm nights, but he really hasn't made all that many pitches to be that tired. He's walked only a couple of batters, and even though he struck out 7, which ordinarily uses up some pitches, he shouldn't be too tired here.
He's been very consistent since he came to the American League, winning 19, 20, and 19 in the last 3 years. That's a bounding ball in the left field for a base hit by Steve Garvey. And Garvey continues to slash away.
I've got to believe we're going to see Fingers right now as Ferguson represents the tying run at the plate. That's why you don't see many complete ball games anymore. People like Marshall, Fingers, who is on his way in from the pen.
Crowd does not want Dark to take Holtzman out. They're yelling, no, no. It's a quick hook here for him with 2 down in the 8th inning. And so we've gone, what, the 18th game in a row in the World Series without a complete game. As Raleigh Fingers makes his way in, we'll tell you in the 8th inning, the score, Oakland 5, Los Angeles 2. Raleigh Fingers comes on with 2 down. He'll face Joe Ferguson. Jim Wynn's at second. Steve Garvey at first. Fingers gave up only 5 home runs all year. He's allowed 2 homers in this World Series. There's Fingers' wife on the right, anxiously watching her husband. Joe Ferguson grounded out twice, a walk. Good fastball hitter, the strike to him. Foul ball back.
And that last pitch, Tony and I both reached over and looked and said, did you see what I saw on here? West Stock saw it too. That was right up in the wheelhouse.
It was a little bit of a bad pitch. It could have been 3-0. If he had hit the ball, I would imagine he would have pulled it foul.
Pitching coach Wes Stock back to the A's dugout. 2 down. The Dodgers have runners in first and second. Garvey has a huge lead at first. Rudy playing off the bag. Joe Ferguson the batter. Dodgers behind 3 runs. Took him out on a high fastball up around the eye. There's Bill Fingers applauding her husband. Way to go. No run. A hit to left. In a 7.5 by 2 Oakland. The crowd tonight the same as last night. 49,347 to sell out. Reggie Jackson, Joe Rudy, and Claudell Washington in the last of the 8th inning facing Mike Marshall. He hits it sharply to Russell, handcuffs him. Jackson's on. That ball hit off the end of the bat. He has such power, though, that it was hit sharply instead of a swiveler. Had a crazy spin on it. Base hit.
Looked like he might have jammed him, Kurt. A little bit up on the fist. Russell had a chance for it as Jackson going that direction would not get as good a jump out of the box. We've seen some pretty shaky infield plays so far in this World Series. We've seen some great plays, but also some poor base running, some good throws, and some bad throws. So it's been a very unusual World Series in a lot of respects.
There's Joe Rudy. The note on him of the 39 doubles. He just missed the 100 RBI mark this year, too, with 99. Jackson on first. They have Rudy swinging away. He hits it to Russell. There's one. Lopes' relay, and they have 2. So quickly, 2 down, nobody on for the A's in the last of the 8th inning. And Claudell Washington coming up. Jackson sliding hard in the second. Claudell Washington's been on every time with 2 hits and a walk. Washington's only hitting 1,000 in this series. 3 for 3. Fouls that one back.
Heard quite a story about him. He never played baseball in high school at all, and he was a high jumper on the track team. He was not a sprinter. He was a high jumper. And I asked him one day why he went out for track instead of baseball, and he said, well, I was having trouble with history, and the track coach happened to be the history teacher, and...
Good thinking. Very bright young man. Fouls it back. 2 balls and 2 strikes with 2 down, nobody on. They have action in the Dodger bullpen. Here's the 2-2 delivery. And Washington strikes out. And Marshall has really pitched great relief ball in this series. No runs, a hit, nobody left. We're going to the 9th inning. It's 5-2 Oakland. Joe Rudy now goes back to his old spot in left field. And Gene Tennis comes off the bench to take over first base. Rollie Fingers was on the mound. He came in to relieve Ken Holtzman in the 8th with 2 down, 2 men on, and struck out Joe Ferguson. Ron Say is the first Dodger batter. The pitch is high and inside to him. Say is hitless in 3 times. Bill Russell on deck, a 1-1 count. A knuckleballer, Charlie Huff, warming up. Blue Moon Odom, Paul Lindblad in the Oakland bullpen. 2-2 count.
We've talked about the great control these Oakland A's pitchers have. Hunter, Fingers. Here's North from our center field camera. Look at him going off to the left, moving in the direction with that ball on the outside corner of the right-hand hitter.
There's a line shot to center, a base hit by Say to start the 9th. Every 9th inning we've had so far in this series, the club behind has put on a rally, has been caught just short. The 9th innings of the first 3 games were the best innings. Bill Russell has grounded out, doubled, to knock in 2 and fly it out. Dando playing tight at third. Fastball strike to Russell. Yeager on deck at Sal. Behind him over his left shoulder we can see Odom and Lindblad. They're all ready in case they're needed. Fouled away, and Fingers moves ahead of him, 2 strikes. fact, as I added up here, it's 8 in a row tonight, including the National League playoffs and the series. There's Yeager, who won Garagiola's bubble blowing contest. An upset victory. Russell strikes out.
We could see a pinch hitter here for Yeager. Willie Crawford is on the bench, and we thought he might do that when Ferguson was up in the last inning. It looks like Von Joshua now with a bat. He might save Crawford in the event Joshua gets on, and then he'll have Crawford with the potential tying run at home plate.
Von Joshua. He drilled a long drive to left field that was caught last night. 0 for 1 last night, 0 for 2 in the series. Waller Alston behind, ahead, you never know by looking at him. So the Dodgers have 2 outs left. They're trailing by 3 with Ron Say at first. Joshua's taking his time getting up there. Maybe a cat and mouse game, making fingers wait for him. Now he backs out.
Well, he never knows what time it is anyway. He really doesn't care.
There's Willie Crawford by Waller Alston. And Willie's coming out to bat for Mike Marshall. There's a ball rammed. Green up. 1 goal. Double play. Sensational double play. A game started by Dick Green. What a way to wind the game up with a flurry as Dick Green. That looked like a sure base hit, Tony.
Never that I can recall that the defensive player got the most valuable player award for World Series. But the last 2 ball games, you got to say Dick Green has had a big part in Oakland A's victories. What a great play. Von Joshua runs well, and this will give you an example of playing pitchers, not just hitters, with fingers. Ball moving away from the left-handed hitter. He was moving to his right before the ball was hit. And look at the great pivot by Campaneris. They play great fundamental baseball, these Oakland A's.
Well, that's how they now have a 3-game-to-1 lead. We'll be back. Again, the final score. The A's 5 and the Dodgers 2.
Here's a second look as Dick Green makes a spectacular play to initiate a game-ending double play. Green's acrobatic fielding has foiled the Dodgers all series long, and the A's now are just 1 victory away from their 3rd consecutive championship, a feat accomplished by only one previous organization, the New York Yankees.